We get our speed from Mom and Dad.
They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster.
So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Glad to have you along. It's on the air, off the presses. 2 guests today. Hey, one of the things we'll talk about is Deflategate. We'll talk about the New England Patriots, of course, and the Seattle Seahawks coming up in Super Bowl 49. Your calls are important. 436-ME-TV, option 11. We're back in a moment. Back here on the program, we'll talk about Deflategate here in a few minutes with our 2 guests here on the air, off the presses on a Monday morning, the week before the Super Bowl, of course. Can't wait for the big game. But first, to tell you about our sponsor today, it is sponsored by Dr. Thomas Casagrande, 2020 Optometrics. He's out there at Shaw and Blackstone, got more than 2,000 frames to choose from. So if you get a chance, get out there and check it out. Also, a reminder, our program today being seen on Comcast Channel 187, 43.6, 13.1. live as we speak. You know the phone number, 436-ME-TV, option 11. And then later on today, the replay at 2 o'clock, 13.6 on YouTube. And of course, 13.5 at 8 o'clock tonight on Biz TV. And my Twitter account, well, just open that up. You can follow me on Twitter if you like, at John Mallos, MeTV. And a reminder as well, you know, the countdown continues toward getting those mailers into City Hall on time. They're due by February the 5th. You have to have them inside City Hall, City Clerk's office. They can't be postmarked on that date or they won't count. We'll put them up on the screen right now. You should have received something from City Hall over the weekend or over the holidays. You can call Mark Standrift at City Hall. He's that big high salary guy over there, 621-8000, or you can listen to the recording, 621-8618. And then the mailers, they look like this. You should have received this one on, well, during the Christmas holiday season. And then what you do, you look on the inside, you check the box, you sign it, mail it back. It basically is a protest vote. If you don't want your water rates going up, then what you do is mark the box, sign the card, mail it back. They need it by February the 5th. Also a reminder, over the weekend, little Janessa Ramirez, 9 years old, she was laid to rest over the weekend on Saturday. They're still looking for the killers, and you can help out by calling Crime Stoppers at 498-STOP, or if you don't want to call that line, you can call police directly for more information at 621-2000. This all happened a week ago Sunday. Poor little Janessa Ramirez was gunned down, a stray bullet that traveled more than 300 yards. Police say that it was a gang shooting that took place that caused that stray bullet to travel more than 300 yards, hit little Janessa in the stomach. She died about an hour later. So police are still out there looking for tips. They have a $22,000 reward out. If you have any information, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers or call the police department. And as we said Friday on the show, we had Janessa's father here. You know, go to your pastor, go to your priest, go to your rabbi. If you've seen anything, you are urged to call in and capture the people responsible for the killing and the death of Janessa Ramirez, a 4th grade student. That's what she was out at Steinbeck Elementary School here in the city of Fresno. Now to our main topic of the day. It's on the air, off the presses. You know him well. He's a staple here. He's a legend in this area by now. My gosh, he's been on the air so long. Flying Home with Ronnie Paul. You can watch it every Saturday night from 7 o'clock at night until 1 a.m. You can catch him on Comcast 200, or if you are watching over the air with an antenna, it's 33.2. Let's fly home with Ronnie Paul for about a minute or so. Check out his show.
Before we get to your thing, we got time.
Oh, yeah. We told everybody.
Yeah. What it is now, when they come back, you get to see my brother and me. We're right in the front. You see it fast, then they're going to do, he's going to throw the Frisbee in the barn, right, for a secretariat. Yeah. So then when it goes in slow motion, you're going to see us and everything. So, but isn't this guy, I tell you what.
It's very funny.
We've seen this how many times, and even just the first time I had lived, this guy is just very entertaining.
Live and in the flesh in our studio right now is Ronnie Paul. He is the host of Flying Home with Ronnie Paul. He is here along with his Los Angeles Rams hat. I say Los Angeles because the rumor is they're moving back to L.A. Ronnie has some insight on that. Anyway, he's a lifelong Rams fan. As you know, his uncle played linebacker for the Los Angeles Rams many moons ago. You're urged to call in 436-ME-TV, option 11. Many of you watching this show watch Ronnie's show too. We're back in just a moment. At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today. All right, back here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. You're watching us live on Comcast, 187-436-13-1. The phone number, 436-MeTV, option 11. And with that, I'm going to pass the ball off to Ronnie Paul. Yeah, don't destroy the equipment there, Ronnie. Okay.
No.
All right, is that a deflated football there or what? Is that good to go?
Yeah, this is ready to go.
This is ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tom Brady didn't tamper with that, did he?
No. This one hasn't been tampered with, but they're sure making a lot of commotion about this now.
Yeah, what do you think really happened in your own heart of hearts? I know we don't have inside information, but we can all guess.
Well, it seems like what everybody's talking about, that this is true. This has happened.
Yeah, well,
like that.
There's no question.
No question.
The question is who done it.
Yeah, that we don't know. I don't think we'll never know who
You
did
think
it.
Brady had something to do with it?
I don't know. We don't know. He's denying it. Belichick is denying it.
But who in your heart of hearts, who do you think?
Maybe the ball boy did it.
Maybe?
You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they did a little something with the ball boy.
I don't think the NFL wants this caper to be solved. Do you?
No. I think they want it to blow away.
Yeah,
as
of course
quick as they
do.
can, because see, this is their big dance.
Yeah, it's their golden team. The New England Patriots, their golden boy quarterback. The whole thing.
Both
they don't
of
like
them.
this.
And then this year, if you notice, there's been a lot of turmoil. We've had from Ray Rice to Adrian Peterson. There was too much San Francisco 49ers, a lot of turmoil before the season started. So it's been a rough NFL year this year.
You think it would have been a different story had they caught the Raiders doing this before the Super Bowl?
Oh, that really would be out of proportion. That sounds like Al Davis came down from upstairs and did something and everything.
Hey, we got one of your fans calling in here. I don't know who this is. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me on the Deflate Show. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning, John. Good morning, Ronnie. I've got a question that's been bugging me since I heard Belichick yesterday talking for like an hour about this deflated ball. Now, isn't this a league? I mean, why is it on one team? When they have a game ball, doesn't the league bring the ball in? I mean, why is it, or is it each individual team that's responsible to bring the ball in? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever listened to. But I'd like to hear what your take is, and maybe you know the rules on who's responsible for keeping the ball inflated properly.
Thank you very much.
That's the question.
Thank you, sir.
What I know, John, is that each team brings, I think, 12 balls.
Yeah.
You know, the Colts brought their balls, and New England brought their balls. But I don't know. It's in charge of the ball boy. You know, make sure that it's inflated.
Yeah.
You know, the equipment manager.
Well, the NFL refs check the weight of these balls. How, you know, the air, how much is inflated. It's anywhere between 12.5 and 13.5 pounds per square inch, I guess, for each football. And then each team, like you said, gets 12, and then they give those 12 over to the ball boy. So who's guarding the footballs between the time the refs hand them over to the ball boy and the time between that time and the game time kickoff?
Well, you know,
who's watching those?
Well, the equipment manager is watching it because Don Hewitt was from Fresno, that was in charge of the Ram equipment.
Yeah.
And I went to go visit him with his son Todd. They make sure the balls, they are in charge of the balls, they're in charge of the uniforms, they are in charge of everything. So they made sure, I actually saw them, watch them make sure the pounds is in the ball right.
You saw them do it, actually.
Yeah.
You know, eyeballed it yourself,
yeah.
huh?
So I've seen that. So it's the equipment, the person who's in charge of the equipment of the team. The manager.
But you actually...
I actually saw him check the balls.
Yeah, but do you think... Okay, but do you think maybe, you know, everybody has a theory, but my theory is it could have happened. I mean, Brady could... I mean, look, the weather conditions were not exactly ideal. They were cold, freezing rain.
Everything.
Okay. In case you don't know, the harder this football is, the more difficult it is to grip and to throw, and the more difficult it is to catch because it feels like a rock. Okay, so what's the possibility that Brady didn't go up to the ball boy, the equipment manager, and said, "Hey,
can you do this a little bit?"
Yeah, yeah. Can you do this on the side? You know, just don't let anybody know about it. I mean,
anything is possible. Anything is possible. But it's amazing that there's always the New England Patriots that get their finger in the cookie jar. They're the one who spied. You know, when the Rams won the Super Bowl against New England, they had a crew. They watched their practice during the week.
Yes, and they also spied in 2009 or 7 against the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Remember they videotaped their practice sessions?
Yeah, they did too. See, this is strike 3, so I don't know what's going to happen.
And I'll never forgive New England for the tuck rule game against the Raiders in the snow.
Raiders never forgot that
either. Oh, well, we're not going to forget that either. Yeah. Hey, so we had the Saturday Night Live spoof over the weekend. That was really funny. But we have a clip of Brady during the news conference, and we're going to play that now. You can watch his nose grow throughout the entire process. Go ahead and check it out. It's Tom Brady, the golden boy of the Patriots.
I didn't, have any, I didn't alter the ball in any way. I have a process that I go through before every game where I go in and I pick the balls that I want to, the footballs that I want to use for the game. Our equipment guys do a great job of breaking the balls in. They have the process that they go through. When I pick those footballs out, at that point, to me, they're perfect. I don't want anyone touching the balls after that. I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting in the air in them, taking the air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect when I show up on the field. So, that happened, obviously, on Sunday night. It was the same process that I always go through. I didn't think anything of it. Obviously I woke up Monday morning and answered a question on the radio about it. And that was the first I really heard it.
I mean, come on. Is that really believable?
He's making it so convincing, though.
I know, but it's hard not to look at that and laugh. It really is. And then, of course, you had Belichick, and we got the Belichick soundbite too. Did you hear what Bill Nye, the science guy, said? Because Belichick said, no, the atmospheric conditions can cause the air to come out of the football. And Bill Nye, the science guy, this past weekend said, I don't think so, Bill. And here's Bill Belichick. Listen to what he had to say.
I had no knowledge of the various steps involved in the game balls and the process that went through, that happened between when they were prepared and went to the officials and went to the game. So I've learned a lot about that. I obviously understand that each team has the opportunity to prepare the balls the way they want, give them to the officials, and the game officials either approve or disapprove the balls, and that really was the end of it for me.
I want to debate Bill Nye versus Belichick and Brady. And we have a picture. We've got a picture of Belichick at that news conference. AP, it's an AP photo. Okay, take a look at this picture here. Bill Belichick, there he is. And Tom Brady, too. We took his photo. AP did. We got a phone call, but take Brady's photo. Go ahead and put that up as well. And Tom Brady at the news conference. This was about 30 minutes into his news conference. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah,
Caller?
quick question. Yeah, let me ask you a real quick question. I thought the league was in charge of the balls, how much air goes in and whatnot, and not the quarterbacks or whoever. I mean, give me the conference. I mean, the coach and Tom, their noses grew and they curled because it's unbelievable that they wouldn't be able to touch the ball or whatever. But I thought the league in itself was responsible for the weight of the ball or whatever it goes into the game. That was my feeling. So that's all really I want to let them know.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, like I said, it's the equipment manager is in charge of all the uniforms, the helmets. They make sure all the screws are tight on there. This fits and everything. The pads are right. Everything.
Well,
so,
your uncle played for the Rams. You know.
Yeah. Well, no, even that during the Robinson time, I used to go in the locker room.
Don Robinson.
John Robinson.
John
But Don
Robinson,
Hewitt was from Fresno.
Don Hewitt
was equipment manager for years, and his son took over. So we used to go visit, and I watched him. He even did the Super Bowl when the Giants came, when they were in L.A., the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Don was in charge of the Giants equipment at that time.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, all the NFC.
Giants versus Denver, I believe.
Denver, too. So I was in there. Visiting.
So
them.
you know.
I know what they do. They make sure that this is right, the uniforms, the helmets. They go through it like a needle comb.
Yeah.
And it's the equipment manager's position to make sure everything is ready to go for
Well, it's amazing. I mean, we've got to take a break here, but it's amazing that the NFL has not questioned Tom Brady, has not questioned Bill Belichick yet, has not questioned the ball boy, the equipment manager, at this point before the Super Bowl. When are they going to do it? Are they going to talk to them? Are they going to penalize them? Richard Sherman said over the weekend, I don't think so, because as long as Robert Kraft is good friends with Roger Goodall, the NFL commissioner, nothing will happen. Hey, today's program sponsored by Dr. Thomas Casagrande. Glad to have him along. 20/20 Optometrics out there at Sean Blackstone. He's got more than 2,000 frames to choose from. We'll be back with our program in a moment.
Spinners Records, the Valley's classic vinyl headquarters, carries an inventory of over 500,000 classic LPs. Choose from rock, rhythm and blues, country, jazz, and oldies but goodies. Spinners also buys and sells fully restored, old-school stereo gear and LPs. You can now get a turntable receiver and speakers for below $250. We carry name brands like Marantz, Sansui, and Pioneer.
At Spinners, we sell memories.
Spinners Records at 639 East Olive Avenue in the Tower District.
Ronnie Paul is our guest. Dr. Thomas Casagrande is our sponsor. A call coming in. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Go ahead, caller.
Yes. We used to be able to watch Paul on Saturday nights on TV.
Yeah.
But now we don't get the station at all. We had to rescan the TV 200. I don't know how many times. It still won't come in. What's the problem? Why we can't pick up your station?
Well, I don't know what to tell you, but just keep trying the scanning. And do you have an outdoor antenna too, or you watch me on Comcast?
I have you on regular TV antenna outside.
Oh, outside.
And I moved it every which way but loose. I can't get it still.
Well, what to do for and if you have an antenna, Gary's told me point it towards Sanger. That's towards the Sanger area. And hopefully you should get it.
Pointed east.
East. Yeah, pointed east, and then it's, as you well know, it's probably 33.2, right?
Right.
With over-the-air antenna.
Over-the-air.
But if you have Comcast...
It's Comcast 200.
Comcast 200, but he has antenna. So keep rescanning and make sure that antenna is pointed eastbound. Sir, you there?
Yes, I'm listening.
All right, try that first, and if not, call me at the studio.
Okay.
Too.
Thank you very much for the call.
Thank you for calling.
So you've been on for 10 years.
10 years.
And the reason you've been on so long, what's the key to your success there, do you think?
What's the key? Well, you bring, like on radio, you play with people just like Me TV. These programs you haven't seen, there's a lot of memories out there. Like, I play the stuff that's never shown too much. Like,
give me a thumbnail sketch of what you play on your show.
You don't know. Well, I play.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Jack Benny, Bob Cummings, Beverly Hillbillies we've never seen,
Flintstones,
Top Cat, all the Hanna-Barbera and Warner Brothers, the Bugs Bunny, and the Sergeant Bill Cole, which you have. But My Living Doll, that's another show by Bob Cummings. You haven't seen that for a long time. I do that. And it's a lot of shows that I like to bring that you haven't seen for a long time. Mm-hmm. And they like it.
Many are black and white.
Many are black and white.
Most are black and white.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but that's what I like to do.
All right, call coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead. What's your question? Hello? Caller?
Yes.
You're on.
I'm concerned about the 21.3 station went off the air.
21.3. I'm not familiar with that one, but anyway.
It's the Snap channel, or.
Gotcha. Okay, well.
We'll check into it.
I can check into it and see what's going on there. I don't know that. I don't think that's a Coca-Cola station.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
21.3, 21.4.
Huh.
And 21.2. Those three channels just wiped right off the screen.
You might try rescanning your TV. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with us, though.
About the football thing, how deflated was it? I mean, to make such a big.
They say by as many as 2 pounds.
2 or 3 pounds, yeah.
2 or 3 pounds per ball, yeah. So it would make a big difference, yeah.
That's a big difference. It's a grip issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in the rain.
I see.
In the rain. See, they anticipated the rain. That's what happened. Yeah.
Oh, they can really toss the ball then.
Yeah.
Yeah. You smell a rat, don't you, caller? You smell a rat someplace?
Yeah. Right. Well, that's good. Well,
especially in that equipment room.
Is it worth dropping the Super Bowl altogether?
No,
I don't know.
No, there's too much money involved.
They're not going to make a big deal about it. That big of a deal about it.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Well, listen, caller, I appreciate you checking in with us, and I'm with you, man. I smell a rat. I don't know about you, Ronnie.
I smell it in the equipment room.
That's
there's a bunch of them walking around in there. Yeah.
So back to your show. What gave you the idea to start a show like this? You've been on the air, like I said, 10 years. You did it for 20 years on the radio.
Well, I went to Gary when our station was sold. Larry Gamble sold Cat. And I went to Gary Gucoli. He says, I don't like to give this up. It's, the viewers, the listeners at that time were enjoying it. So he said, let me think about it. Then he came to me and says, how about playing records on the radio? I says, you know what, since it's TV, I don't want to act like an idiot on the air.
Right.
So how about if we do videos and soundies of what I did in radio?
And you expanded your show. You were only on for what?
Well, 4 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours. Now it's 6 hours.
Now it's 6 hours.
Yeah.
And what kind of response are you getting from the public?
Well, very good. They says, can you go on all night if you can?
Pull an all-nighter with Ronnie Paul.
Yeah. They don't want me to go away. They says, can you do this a little more days a week or everything like that? So that's the response and everything too.
Would you change the hours if you went all night? Would you go from like 11 till 6 in the morning?
No. I can go from 7 to all the way to 7 again if
you could.
Easy.
Really?
I used to do it on radio. I did all-nighters for a while.
Really?
And Larry Gamble says, as long as you're having fun, he says, go ahead. I told him like that.
I've been on your show, as you know, many times, and your phone lights up like a Christmas tree, more than ours does here.
Plus, I'm their person. See, there's nobody besides you. There's nobody that people can talk to during the week. If they have, like this, if they want to ask a question, there's nobody they can ask.
What, do they call in and vent on your show?
Yeah, I'm like their older brother, their dad, their sister, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of lonely people out there, and some of them
many of those,
they like to talk.
Yeah, many of those people, they watch our show, and you're welcome to call in our program anytime and vent. Right.
And I make them feel happy, which is, I feel happy for that. So.
Right. Hey, so you wanted to talk about Craig Ferguson. You recently went to the Craig Ferguson show in Los Angeles. You sat in the front row, and You know, I do. Let's play a clip of Craig Ferguson. This is the show that you attended, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
When was this, by
This
the way?
was Veterans Day.
Veterans
Day.
All right, roll the monologue segment with Craig Ferguson talking to the skeleton, my friends.
Go on, then you start. You start.
All right, I will.
Well,
All right, I
you
will.
should go on.
Well,
do
stop
it then.
talking. Let me do it.
Well, go on then. Don't look at me. I'm not going to write scripts for you.
What is a script?
It's a papery thing that proper late-night talk show hosts use.
Okay.
You don't need to worry
You're
about
right.
that.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special...
Oh, really? Oh, really? Good evening, everybody, and welcome. What kind of
Dingo baby
is that? What kind of, oh, I'm just doing what the man tells me crap? You get in that camera, get in their face, and you tell them something different.
All right, so what's so unique about this? I've seen Craig Ferguson.
The way that Jeff and the secretary the way he presented is so funny. And this, people have asked, where's this tape? This is a tape, TV City in Hollywood. And that's
at CBS.
Yeah, and that's Pat Sajak's old set.
It is.
He even has Pat Sajak, the pictures, he has Pat Sajak's picture on that.
I mean, CBS was so cheap, they didn't bother to build him a new set?
No, they built this set. It's a very expensive set for Pat Sajak at that time.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
So Ferguson took it over.
So Ferguson took it over. Now this new guy is second. Now they're taking it. Now these other people are taking it over. But just the spending all day with him, that whole crew, and the producer's name is Ron Paul. So I had a little extra treatment. I had a nice treatment.
So what kind of a one-on-one did you have with Craig Ferguson?
It's just nice to talk. I says, I've never met somebody who's this entertaining and fun. And your idea with Jeff the robot is his sidekick, and when he does stand-up and everything too, and he came talk to us too, and those two guys in the horse secretariat are just the whole cast was very nice.
Yeah, he's down-to-earth guy, it seems.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, very open to us and everything too. So and then we did the day before Thanksgiving show. We saw 2 shows. And we had a good time. We never laughed so hardly. He brought a comment. This sounds like the Veterans Day audience and everything, too.
Right. And you saw a guy on the show when you were down there, Veterans Day. Okay, you know who Mark Sheeran is.
Very well. We went
He's the owner of Ventura TV. He's the owner of all these television stations. Put up the picture of the screen. And I don't think there's a resemblance. Of course, the guest on Craig Ferguson is on the left, Mark Sheeran on the right. Where's the resemblance?
Well,
for
the
God's
beard
sake?
and everything, and everybody, our classmate says, you're right, in a roundabout way, you could resemble Mark and everything
a little bit,
that.
A little bit.
But
maybe,
he's English.
Maybe.
He's English, yeah.
This author is English?
Yes,
He wrote a book.
He wrote a book.
And he was on there touting the book.
Yeah, kind of a book about the cows. He's a farmer in England with cows.
Hey, how much longer for your show? You're going to keep going forever, aren't you?
Well, as long as God willing, I can go.
So tell me, got a couple of minutes left here. Rams, they are going to move to L.A.?
And they are going to move, not this season, but next season.
I know you got connections on the inside.
They're going to use the Coliseum for 2 years while this new stadium in L.A. is being built.
Is it going to be built in L.A. where the Inglewood Forum?
Yes, they bought the property. There's already plans out there, and he is going to move his team over there too.
So they're going to be back at the LA Coliseum for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Their old stomping grounds.
It's going to be history repeating itself.
Yeah.
For a while.
I saw many games down there.
Yeah,
with the Rams.
everybody did. And it was packed.
NFC title game with Hollywood Henderson. He ran that,
that
interception back. Why not?
Yeah.
That was a good game.
Bad memory.
I was at that game.
That was at a rainy day too.
That was a rainy day
too. Yeah.
I was at that game. 1978, as I recall.
See, I remember to T. And look how long ago.
Yeah. Let me see. Pat Hayden was the quarterback in that game.
And it was nice. We saw all the stars. I sat behind Tom Bosley one game.
Yeah.
Before Happy Days. Jack Lemmon was there.
I had a press credential, so I wasn't sitting with the stars like you were. But
but it's going to happen, though.
Yeah.
It is going to happen.
Yeah. So. Hollywood Henderson was one of my favorite players. Even though I didn't like the Cowboys in those days, but I liked Hollywood. He was a character.
I guess it worked. He says the Rams don't have class to be in the Super Bowl. So.
Hey, Ronnie, what's coming up on your show this coming weekend? Anything you can tout?
Well, we're going to continue. We're doing shows on Dad because we lost our father this
I wanted to offer
weekend.
my condolences.
Thank you.
Prayers and thoughts to you
Thank
and
you.
your family. I'm very sorry. Your father, a legend. He was, what,
85.
85 years old, and I'm very sorry for the passing of your father.
Yeah.
Anything we can do here?
No, you've done very well. But I just let the viewers know that I've told that he's the one that did the Flying Home logo and the guy flying an airplane. He drew all that.
Right.
There, he loved to do artwork, which was good.
Right.
So a lot of things too. Very talented.
How are you holding up? Okay.
Well,
you know,
we're okay.
knock on wood, right?
Yeah.
Knock on plywood,
Well,
I guess.
like on plywood, but it's okay.
Plywood.
We're all right.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of tributes and the people calling in, which is nice. Even viewers too. Viewers too.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie Paul has been our guest here.
And you're welcome anytime. You and your sidekick
We're
over
going
here
to come
too.
on. I mean, Lauren is going to mark us. Maybe if you want to come on too, we'll get our whole crew on
over here too.
Yeah, we'll come on one Saturday. We'll just show up over there.
No
and we'll
problem.
talk about our show.
That's
hey,
all right.
but I want to see more of Ronnie Paul.
You do?
Yeah, I like I like your comments on the show.
No, they are nice. And viewers, you know, they like I say, they want to talk. They want to unwind. But some of them, they like to go very personal.
Do they offer comments like I do? Suggestions?
Yeah. Well, some
suggestion box.
I have one viewer in Merced is very good at that. Suggestions and everything, too.
Yeah. You should have a suggestion box somehow.
Well, that's why they email. See, we have the email, and I do get that. So I get that.
Yeah.
See, they don't ask. They ask for specific show, like Doris Day. Can you do this one or whatever? That's it. So I have to search it. I do have them. Some.
Is my request? Is it unique? Do they want to see more Ronnie Paul?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, they do. Well, I do too.
Yeah,
Ronnie?
sometimes we have a malfunction. I can't talk. Equipment's not right, or whatever. But I do.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
You're
and
a friend.
Thank
You're
you
welcome here
everyone out there.
anytime.
All right. Thanks again.
All right. And again, my condolences,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
All
Take
right.
care.
All right.
And you too, Lord. Thank you. And you.
All right. Stay put. We're going to be back here on Connect with Me with our second guest of the day here on MeTV Fresno. And today's program sponsored by Dr. Thomas Casagrande. Back in a moment. At 20/20 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 20/20 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today.
Welcome to a new beginning. An adventure that goes well beyond passive diversions. Empowering through exploration. Engaging your passions. Inspiring with lives lived outdoors. Come with us. Untamed Sports TV.
You can find Untamed Sports on over-the-air channel 13.8.
Spinners Record, the Valley's classic vinyl headquarters, carries an inventory of over 500,000 classic LPs. Choose from rock, rhythm and blues, country, jazz, and oldies but goodies. Spinners also buys and sells fully restored, old school stereo gear and LPs. You can now get a turntable receiver and speakers for below $250. We carry name brands like Marantz, Sansui, and Pioneer.
At Spinners, we sell memories.
Spinners Records at 639 East Olive Avenue in the Tower District.
This fall, there is a place, familiar and inviting, timeless and warm. MeTV, a place all your own that you can call home.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
This fall, home is where you'll find me.
You mean to tell me that's all there is to it?
That's all.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney.
Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Back here with our program on Connect with Me. A reminder that today's broadcast here on MeTV is sponsored by Dr. Thomas Casagrande at their 2020 Optometrics, and glad to have him along. You know, check it out. He's got more than 2,000 frames out here. All right, to our second guest here on the air off the presses. He's the new sheriff in town, or should I say he's the new radio host in town. Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. He came in from Fargo, North Dakota, started last week. His name is Christopher Gabriel. Now, you know, from time to time, I do the fill-in hosting over there at Power Talk, as does Tal Cloud. He's hosted for me here on occasion when I've been gone. Anyway, but the new permanent host is your man, Christopher Gabriel. Here he is.
Live from Fresno, California, this is the Christopher Gabriel Program on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400.
This is your Who the Heck Is This Guy Network, Power Talk 96.7 AM 1400, Christopher Gabriel program. It's day 1. I'm the host of the program, Christopher Gabriel. It is 6 minutes, 36 seconds past the hour of 3 p.m., and I've never said this in my radio career, Pacific Standard Time. Unbelievable. I am in Fresno, California. Producer of the program, David Taub. I'm told he prefers Mr. T. We'll go with that. How do you join the conversation for the next 3 hours? Every day of the week. Lots of ways for you to join us. You can call the studio line. All of you know the area code here, but folks out of town, maybe back in Fargo, North Dakota, maybe in Mystic, Connecticut, or Frisco, Texas, 559-247-2255.
All right, live in our studio now is Christopher Gabriel. He is the new permanent host on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. We'll talk about his heritage. Hey, he's a full-blooded Greek. How do you like that? All right, we'll find out where he's from originally and how he ended up in Fresno. And your phone calls are invited. 436-MeTV, option 11. Dr. Thomas Casagrande, our sponsor. We're back in a moment. At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today. All right, we're back here. Hey, well, you know, we can still talk about Deflategate if you want. We'll talk about anything you want here on a Monday. It's on the air off the presses. It's kind of an open line. 436-MeTV, option 11. Welcome to town, my friend. Good to see you.
It's great.
Full-blooded Greek, huh?
Hey, there's 2 of us here. Back in Fargo, there were, I think, 5 total. But, yeah, 2 full-blooded Greeks. I don't know if the set can handle this. Yeah, it's great. It's great to be in Fresno. It is absolutely, and I mean that, truly great to be here. Interviewed a month ago and fell in love with the community, loved the station, loved the hierarchy, the way it was set up, and couldn't wait to get here.
Yeah, I mean, 2 Greeks on the set. This set's on fire right now.
Feels like we should have some saganaki, taramasalata, something here.
Baklava.
Anything, yeah, exactly.
Where's Kopi when you need him?
That we do need him, yeah.
So how'd you end up in Fresno? That's 1. Mm-hmm. And number 2, take us through your broadcasting career, your twists and turns and bobs and weaves.
I ended up in Fresno. I did 1,400 shows back in Fargo over the course of 5.5 years, and we accomplished so much. And I view talk radio as not only 3 hours a day, but it's an immersion into the community. It's getting involved with charities, getting involved with colleges, getting involved with high schools and middle schools. But an offer came along from the folks out here. They wanted me to come out and meet with them. I met with them. I loved the station setup. I loved the fact that this is Market 67. It was a jump of 134 markets from where I was at. I met my wife in California. My mom went to high school in California. We have friends and family in California. It was an exciting opportunity to come back and we jumped at it. You know, you can't go through life without risk. My broadcasting career, Mitch Albom got me into.
I know who he is. Detroit, right?
Yes, I was doing. He had seen me in. I was in theater for 26 years. And I was doing a Mitch Albom play after I did Tuesdays with Maury. I was working with him in Detroit. And I said, you know, I need a new creative outlet. And he said, what about talk radio? One thing led to another, and I was a call screener for a talk show in Minneapolis. And
not his.
Not his. No, not his. And I remember there was a guy, a very popular local radio show in Minneapolis, came in the door, looked at me, and he goes, "Dude, I got to ask you, what the heck are you doing?" Because he figured he was an older guy screening calls. But I wanted to do this job. I wanted to be a talk radio host. I produced 10 different shows. I was a weekend host for weekend co-host and producer for Andrew Zimmern from the Travel Channel, from Bizarre Foods. Slowly worked my way up. It was a lot of sending stuff out. You know how it is.
Yeah.
A lot of sending stuff out, a lot of rejection. But you put the goal out there. Where do you want to be? And one thing led to another. And then Fargo came along. Went up to Fargo back in May of 2009. Boy, this is the longest story next to the Bible, isn't it? And then finally got the job. My first show there was June 8th of 2009.
But, you know, like you said, everything is a risk.
Yeah.
Why Fresno? Because, you know, this is a tough market for talk radio. You know, some other station in town has dominated for a long time, but Power Talk is on the way up.
Yep.
They've got Limbaugh, they got Hannity, they got you now. So I guess the way to look at this, hey, you got to look straight ahead and look up.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that other station in town. They've been doing it a long time. They have very talented people there. I'm delighted to be at Power Talk. I liked the challenge. The three individuals before me are giants in broadcasting. I don't do what they do. I share some of their beliefs. I don't share all of them. But what intrigued me about Power Talk, John, was that they hired me for me. They hired me.
But what are you going to do different than what Limbaugh and Hannity do?
Well, I'm not politically driven. I'm not. We'll talk about film. We'll talk about music. We'll talk about bullying and DUI legislation. We'll talk about what happened when I was in line at the local coffee shop. The program is always for people.
And I heard you last week, Thursday and Friday. You did a terrific job, by the way, in hosting your first day. And you talked Friday a little bit about, and I want to put her picture up on the screen again. You'll talk about tragedies like what we had with Janessa Ramirez. It just breaks my heart to see her picture. There she is right there. They had the funeral on Saturday. Police Chief Jerry Dyer spoke at the funeral. He was leading the procession in front of the coffin. It's difficult to see that. I mean, you know, and I got, you know, I posted something on Facebook about it, and one of the comments was, you know, I made the comment, somebody has to up that reward, or somebody has to go shake some trees and break some doors down. But then the comment back to me was, you know what, if you catch these guys, there's 1,000,001 more gang members that you have to catch.
But
what do we do?
See, that's it. We talked about it on the program, and that is no reason to not continue to fight it. We talked about a beautiful girl. I have 2 daughters, and you see this little girl. She should be in school today.
Right now.
Communities need to take back their neighborhoods, their streets, their corners. It's kind of like DUI legislation. When states decide to heighten DUI legislation, there are people who will say, yeah, but, you know, people are still going to drive drunk. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we shouldn't try to heighten the penalty for that? We need to have people taking back their neighborhoods and going after these guys, these bad guys, with all that we've got.
Yeah, I agree with you. It sickens me, it saddens me. My heart's broken to see that beautiful little girl, you know, being, you know, put down way before her time.
Absolutely.
Way before her time.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to be back with Christopher Gabriel. He's the new host on Power Talk 96.7 AM 1400 right here on Connect with me, Dr. Thomas Casagrande, your sponsor today, 436-MeTV option 11. We're back in a moment.
Spinners Records, the Valley's classic vinyl headquarters, carries an inventory of over 500,000 classic LPs. Choose from rock, rhythm and blues, country, jazz, and oldies but goodies. Spinners also buys and sells fully restored, old school stereo gear and LPs. You can now get a turntable receiver and speakers for below $250. We carry name brands like Marantz, Sansui, and Pioneer.
At Spinners, we sell memories.
Spinners Records at 639 East Olive Avenue in the Tower District.
Back here with Christopher Gabriel. So what other things will you talk about? You'll stick local, right? You'll focus local.
We'll start local, but it's going to be regional. It's going to be national. We have we're going to talk a lot of sports. I was always an athlete, and we're going to talk a lot of sports this week. We're going to be weaving in names that maybe this area hasn't had before. People who are friends of mine who've been with me for 5.5 years. Christine Brennan from USA Today, an award-winning sports writer. Jeannie Wolf, arguably the best entertainment journalist based down in Los Angeles. People like Sandra Block, Kiplinger's Personal Finance, to talk about your money. We're going to talk with people like Andrew Zimmern, people like Mitch Albom. And we're going to talk locally. I had Jerry Dyer on with me the other day. We're going to talk. We're going to talk water. We're going to talk agriculture. We're going to talk about everything that people are talking about.
You should try to get somebody from the NFL or some sports writer to comment about this. Look at. I mean, come on. This football is fully deflated, as you can see.
Yeah. We reached out to Mike Pereira, and he was apparently he was being seen for possible jury selection, and we sent a note to his people and said, listen, when we call you, you better respond. Just teasing a little bit, but we tried to get some referees on. This whole thing is, I heard you talking with Ron about that. You cannot tell me that Tom Brady, for all the years that he has been in this league, did not know what was going on. We had audio from Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman said there's no way that Tom Brady didn't know what was going on, and it's all plausible deniability. It's all, but I don't buy it.
We have a picture that we showed earlier of Tom Brady and his nose. Let's put that up there. This was a progression. Now, this just didn't have... See, this was about 20, 30 minutes into the news conference. He just changed appearance-wise, and that's what happens when you go out there and you tell a fib. But
the
he
hat
had
is
to have
impressive.
known.
I've got to believe that he knew. And I also think the referees are culpable to the extent that did they only measure one of the Patriots' balls? Can we say that? And then not get the other 11, because all 24 are supposed to be measured so that we know exactly that they're at the right weight.
But the question though is, Christopher, who guards them after the official checks them out, and then they turn those balls over to the equipment manager, the ball boy? Okay, who's the guardian of those footballs between the time the equipment manager, the ball boy, gets them till kickoff?
Yeah, somebody knows. It's the old Watergate thing. What did you know and when did you know it? Because if on those conditions that day, John, if the Indianapolis Colts 12 footballs, if they had no problem, then why did 11 of the Patriots suddenly deflate by 2.5 pounds?
Well, if you believe Bill Belichick, it was the atmosphere. You know, they just automatically, they deflated themselves. Yeah. Nobody knows anything. These footballs, they just deflated themselves, my friends. That's what happened. But, of course, Bill Nye, the science guy, he debunks that theory.
Completely.
He goes, hey, come on.
Well, and if you're talking Bill Belichick and you want to talk credibility and you go back to Spygate with the Jets, as you referenced earlier, he's a great coach, but his credibility when it comes to playing by the rules may be a little bit suspect.
Yeah, no question about that. And hey, so who's going to win the game?
Boy, that's a good question. My money, if I was a betting man, would be on the Seahawks. I just think they're so complete. They're so tight on both sides of the ball. It's hard to go against a Tom Brady team though in the Super Bowl. But I like the Seahawks. How about you?
I'm pulling for Seattle. I just don't like the smell of this whole thing surrounding the Patriots, and I haven't for many years. Ever since the Tuck Rule game against the Raiders in 2002, I've had my issues with the Patriots and Tom Brady being the golden boy. And why hasn't the NFL investigated to this point? They haven't even interviewed Tom Brady. They haven't interviewed Belichick. They haven't interviewed the ball boy, the equipment manager. Why?
Well, wouldn't this be the great time for Roger Goodell to try to get some sort of dignity back by saying, if they were to find out who it was on the Patriots, whether it was Brady or somebody, to actually come down hard on them before the Super Bowl? But you know they won't do that. They will not do that because of the money involved with the Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah, you got billions of dollars being bet across the tables here in this country alone on the Super Bowl. It's the biggest betting weekend of the entire year, no question. Hey, I guess we got to take a break here. We're talking with Christopher Gabriel. He is the new Power Talk 96.7 FM AM 1400 host, 3 to 6 p.m. on your favorite radio dial. We're back with him and much more. Hey, if you want to call in, 436-ME-TV option 11, Dr. Thomas Casagrande is our sponsor today. At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Okay, back here with Christopher Gabriel, Thomas Casagrande, our sponsor today. Let me ask you something. And I think about this with every talk show. Limbaugh has his following. Hannity has his following. I don't think they're one and the same. That's my belief. I think different hosts garner different audiences. I don't know if you agree with that.
I do agree. Yep.
So how much pull do you have to control content on your program? Are you the man? It crosses your desk first?
It does, and I work with a great team over there, and I'm an ensemble guy. Coming from theater, I really believe that you get together with your program director, with your producer, with people involved, that if somebody else has a better idea than I do for a topic A, let's go with it. But it is a team effort from beginning to end, and that goes back to my theater days. Somebody else comes up with an idea, a director, a lighting designer, you go with it. And you're right. I think that everybody finds their own audience. My audience, a lot of them will come with me from the upper Midwest. I've lived a lot of places, and we're going to find our audience here in Fresno, and I think we're starting to, even in the first 2 days.
You know, you can't, just like this show here when we started, sometimes we get a lot of calls, sometimes we don't. I know Margaret Mims and I think Bradley Hart hold the all-time record. I think it's like 29 calls or something within an hour. That's a lot. But then some days we don't get that many, so you can't control the calls. So if some topic is not working, you just throw that one out and go to the next one?
Nope.
Throw that one out, go to the next one?
Nope.
How do you do? You just keep...
I think there's... I prepare a 5-hour program for 3 hours. And
How's that?
It's to do what you just did, yes. If something really seems like it's falling flat, I will get rid of it, but I rarely do that because I think there's a lot of different ways in.
Even if nobody's calling?
I'm not caller driven. I'm content driven. And if the content is strong, a lot of times, Rush Limbaugh always said less than 2% of your audience actually calls you.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I believe very strongly in delivering as good a content as I can deliver. And I mean, we had no problems with phone calls the first couple of days, but if I based my program on phone calls, then I'm not doing my job, because people are tuning in to listen to me. They're tuning in to listen to Rush, to Glenn Beck, to Sean Hannity. That's who people are tuning in to listen to. They're not tuning in to listen to Marty from Mayville. It's just the way it is.
So you're not going into the show every day thinking, okay, what topics can I go that's going to generate the most calls? Because I want to hear. Oh, you're selecting topics based on
what excites me, what stirs my passion. We're going to talk about the $429 million vote about the water situation.
Oh,
here.
Yeah, that's coming up.
We're going to talk about who would you vote for in Iowa this weekend if you were voting for one of the 12 or 14 or 80 people on the GOP side of things.
Listen, that water issue is a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
I don't know if you've had Doug Vagum on the show.
We're trying to get him today.
Okay.
We're trying to get him
today.
You'll
get him. He'll want to come on. He's been on here 1,001 times.
I think if you start as a talk show host, John, if you start to play to the audience, we might as well just go on the air and say, what's your favorite condiment on a hot dog, ketchup or mustard?
Really?
I
think your theory, huh?
That is my theory, and it's worked in the 1,400 plus shows that I did. I'm not going to gear something because I think I'm going to get a phone call. I want to put a topic on the air because I think it's what people are talking about at work. It's what people are talking about in your studio. Yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah, because I guess if you're not excited about it, then the audience won't be excited about it.
Absolutely. That's something that Glenn Beck has said for years. If it doesn't stir your passions, why talk about it? I'm not going to take my kids somewhere if they're not excited by it.
Yeah. Vagum will come on this show. Mark Standriff, I don't know if you've had him on the show. We haven't been able to contact him since Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving. I don't know why he won't come on this program again. He did in the beginning. I don't know, in talking to Doug, and this might give you an idea, they're trying to suppress information about getting the mailers back by February the 5th because they want this water rate thing to go up. Doug will explain it to you. Well, he's been on many times, and he knows it inside out. But go ahead.
And see, this is an issue, and I'm coming into this fresh. I'm coming into it new, and I just don't view this issue, John, as a right or left, a Republican or Democratic.
It's not a right or left issue. Right. It's. Do you want your water rates to go up? Yes or no? It's a simple question.
Is it that simple though?
It is because. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, is it, forgive my interruption, is it that simple? Because as a taxpayer, I'm willing to pay for things if it's going to help our community at large out. I need to look more into it, but that I think it goes more than just, is it our rates only.
But how will it affect those who want a fixed income, those who retired, those who are on the lower end of things? Take a call here. Good morning. You're on with the one and only Christopher Gabriel. Go ahead.
Yes. Your guest is right. I listen to you all the time. I watch you on TV all the time. And you ask such good questions. We don't need to call in. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I think that says a lot, John, because I think that I want to challenge an audience.
Yeah.
I don't want to dumb it down. I want to challenge an audience. Let's have a conversation. And on my program, it's not about screaming. It's not about yelling. It's about making everybody feel.
It's about having a conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the metaphor is we're all sitting around a table having coffee and eggs or baklava, and we're having a civil conversation. We can disagree, but we can do it respectfully. We can do it civilly, and there's not enough of that in talk radio.
You know what's really funny, and I know you had the same problem. You know what my ex-wife used to say? She'd say when we're conversing about something, she goes, "Why are you yelling?" I said, "I'm not yelling. It's just my voice. It's loud. I have a loud voice." You kind of have the same.
My
issue.
wife
Did she say that?
26 years. She said, "I'm right here. I'm right here." Yeah.
Why are you yelling?
Exactly.
You're not yelling.
I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling. Yeah.
That's right. That's just the way the Greeks are.
That's what we do.
They're very expressive.
Very with the hands and get everything going. Yeah.
They're like Italians and Armenians.
Is that part of the world?
Saying that. Well, you are very good. You could. I'm telling you, you are so good. You could carry the program with no calls for 3 hours.
Well, that's very kind.
It's very kind of you to say. So what kind of issues are you going to tackle this week? Well, like for today, what are you thinking about doing today?
We'll talk about water. We're going to talk about have you ever had an invisible boyfriend or an invisible girlfriend? We're going to talk about where we're at as a society when we need to.
Wait a minute. Run that by me again.
Have you ever had an invisible boyfriend? You can do that now. You can hire a service that becomes a sort of a rent-a-boyfriend, rent-a-girlfriend.
What does that mean?
Well, exactly.
You lost me.
It's people. There's a service out there that will send text to your phone, that will send emails. But the deeper issue is, are we that worried about what our friends think about us, whether we're attached or not?
You got to back up here. You lost me, man. So you're talking about a service that provides an invisible boyfriend or girlfriend, somebody that doesn't exist.
Yep. You and I are at a customer service center, and somebody has signed up. Lauren has signed up for this service because she's having a hard time finding a boyfriend. And you and I are sitting at our customer service, and we say, "Lauren, how you doing today?" And we're sending texts back to her. We're sending emails.
What kind of
back
texts?
To her.
Like
whatever the conversation demands.
Wow.
Have you thought about that?
No, I've never even heard it, never even thought about it.
All right. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl this week. We're going to get a lot of guests on for the Super Bowl. We'll probably revisit Janessa and Esther. We'll revisit, I just saw that we are number 4, John. We're number 4 for gang problems in this country. We'll talk about that a little more. That
in the country or the state?
In the country.
In the country for gangs.
In the country, behind L.A., Chicago, and I forget the third city. We're number 4.
Ooh, Jerry Dyer is not going to want to hear that.
No.
You know, because he's big on gangs. We got like 30 seconds left, and I do want to say I appreciate you coming on this program. Hey, I'd like you to be a regular on here. We have a few regulars that come on all the time.
It's my pleasure.
And we welcome you to town. Anything we can do, let us know.
Thank you. All of you, including yourself, have done so much for me. Thank you for doing my program when I was still in transit.
No problem. We enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
All right. Christopher Gabriel, the new host on Power Talk 96.7 AM 1400. You can catch him each and every day, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6. And you can catch us Monday through Friday here, live at 10 o'clock on Me TV Fresno. Back with another guest tomorrow, a financial advisor. How should you invest your money? We'll have the answers, or at least some, on tomorrow's program. Thanks to Dr. Thomas Casagrande. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Stay well.